Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a place and just felt something wasn't right? Maybe the air felt heavy or an unexplained tension made your spirit uneasy. You see, not every battle we fight is visible. Some wars are fought in the unseen, right within our homes. And the truth is, many people unknowingly invite darkness into their lives simply by what they allow inside their space. Your home is more than just a physical space. It's a reflection of your inner world, a place where your energy either thrives or gets drained. Every single thing you allow into your home carries a presence, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. The environment you create within your walls influences your mood, your thoughts, and even your spiritual well-being. It's not just about the furniture, decorations, or even the people who visit. It's about the atmosphere you cultivate. Have you ever noticed how certain places feel light and peaceful while others feel heavy and unsettling? That's not just coincidence. The objects you bring into your home, the music you play, the movies you watch, and the books you read all contribute to the spiritual climate of your space. Some things carry energy that aligns with peace and clarity, while others introduce confusion, anxiety, and even oppression. You might not always recognize it immediately, but over time, the effects become undeniable. Think about it. Your home should be a place of refuge, a sanctuary where you can rest, recharge, and connect with your higher purpose. But if you're constantly filling it with things that disrupt your peace, you're unknowingly allowing outside influences to shape your thoughts and emotions. A simple decorative piece, a statue, or even artwork may seem harmless on the surface, but some of these things carry spiritual significance that can impact the energy of your home. Some symbols, images, and artifacts are linked to cultures, beliefs, and rituals that you may not fully understand, yet their presence in your home can subtly affect your spirit. What about the entertainment you consume? Many people don't realize how deeply music, movies, and television shape their mindset. Some songs carry lyrics that glorify violence, darkness, or destruction, and yet they are played on repeat, influencing your subconscious without you even realizing it. Certain movies normalize fear, horror, and spiritual darkness, and what you watch becomes a seed planted in your mind. Have you ever finished watching something and felt uneasy, anxious, or disturbed afterward? That's not just your imagination. It's the energy attached to what you've exposed yourself to. Then there are books and writings that introduce ideologies and practices that may seem intriguing but carry a deeper spiritual impact. Many people collect books on the occult, spells, or even horror fiction without realizing that words have power. What you read, you absorb. What you meditate on, you attract. Books are not just ink on paper, they hold ideas, and ideas shape beliefs. Some people have unknowingly opened doors to fear, doubt, or even oppression simply by what they allow into their homes through literature. Another major factor is the relationships you entertain within your space. People carry energy, and when you invite someone into your home, you are also inviting the energy they bring with them. Some people leave a room feeling lighter and inspired, while others leave behind an atmosphere of tension, negativity, or even spiritual heaviness. If you've ever felt exhausted, drained, or uneasy after someone leaves your home, that's a sign that their energy has left an imprint on your space. Not everyone should have access to your personal sanctuary. Even things as simple as souvenirs or inherited items can carry energy from past owners. Some objects hold memories, emotions, and spiritual significance that linger beyond their physical form. There are countless stories of people experiencing unexplainable disturbances after bringing certain antiques or secondhand items into their homes. While these things may seem like mere decorations, they can serve as spiritual anchors, tying you to an energy that doesn't align with peace and clarity. The reality is what you allow into your home is what you allow into your life. If your space feels heavy, if you're experiencing unexplainable restlessness, or if peace feels distant, it might be time to examine what's surrounding you. Everything carries an influence, and it's up to you to determine whether that influence is helping you grow or pulling you into darkness. Ignorance is one of the greatest tools darkness uses to gain a foothold in your life. The don't know can hurt you, and what you choose to ignore can slowly consume. Many people unknowingly allow negativity into their homes and lives simply because they don't understand the spiritual weight behind certain things. It's easy to dismiss something as harmless when you don't know its true origin or impact. But the truth is, just because you don't see something doesn't mean it isn't affecting you. Think about it. If you walk into a dark room and don't know where the light switch is, you're left fumbling, tripping over things, and struggling to find your way. But the moment you gain knowledge of where the switch is, everything changes. Light enters the room, revealing what was once hidden. The same principle applies spiritually. When you lack awareness, you open yourself up to forces that can quietly take control over different areas of your life. Darkness thrives in secrecy and lack of awareness and in neglect. Many people don't realize that certain objects, symbols, and practices they engage with carry spiritual weight. They dismiss signs, ignore gut feelings, and brush off subtle warnings because they assume that if something isn't visibly harmful, it can't possibly affect them. But spiritual battles aren't always loud. They're often silent, working in the background, influencing thoughts, emotions, and even circumstances without obvious signs until it's too late. One of the biggest ways ignorance allows darkness to grow is through complacency. People don't question what they bring into their homes, what they listen to, what they watch, or what they allow their children to be exposed to. They assume that as long as something is mainstream, it must be safe. But not everything that is popular is good for you. Just because a symbol is widely used doesn't mean it carries positive energy. Just because a movie is well received doesn't mean it doesn't have deeper influences working beneath the surface. Another way ignorance becomes a doorway for negativity is through lack of discernment. Many people don't take the time to research or understand the history behind the things they engage with. Symbols that appear decorative could have deep roots in occult practices. Some traditions passed down for generations may have origins and rituals that invite darkness rather than blessings. The lack of awareness keeps people trapped in cycles they don't even recognize. Fear is another way. Darkness takes advantage of ignorance. When people don't understand something, they either dismiss it entirely or become afraid of it. Fear creates vulnerability. It weakens discernment and makes people either too passive or too paranoid. But knowledge is power. When you understand what you're dealing with, you can take control. When you recognize the signs of something being spiritually unhealthy, you can remove it from your life before it has a chance to cause harm. Another important aspect is understanding the impact of words. Many people speak negativity into their homes and lives without realizing it. Words carry energy. When you constantly speak doubt, fear, anger, or defeat, you create an atmosphere that invites more of the same. What you declare over your life has the power to shape your reality. If you constantly entertain negativity in your conversations, music, and media, you're reinforcing an environment where darkness can thrive without resistance. It's not about living in fear or paranoia. It's about being intentional with what you allow into your space. The moment you choose to seek knowledge, you begin to take back control. The more you understand, the more you can protect your home and your mind from unseen influences that seek to drain your energy and peace. Ignorance keeps people trapped, but awareness brings freedom. Everything you allow into your home contributes to the spiritual atmosphere within it. Every object, every piece of media, and every conversation carries energy that either strengthens your peace or disrupts it. People often think their struggles with stress, fear, and negativity are simply personal battles, but many times, these emotions are reflections of the environment they have created around themselves. What you entertain doesn't just pass through. It leaves an imprint. Your home should be a place of refuge, a sanctuary where you can retreat from the noise of the world. But if you constantly invite things that carry confusion, aggression, and darkness, your home will reflect that energy. Some people struggle with restlessness in their own space and don't understand why. They feel anxious, uneasy, or even irritable without realizing that the things they have allowed inside their home are shaping their emotional and spiritual state. Think about the music you play on repeat. Music is one of the most powerful tools of influence because it bypasses logic and speaks directly to emotions. The lyrics you absorb become the words you subconsciously meditate on. If you are constantly listening to songs filled with heartbreak, anger, or self-destruction, you are filling your mind with messages that shape your outlook. The more you internalize these words, the more they become a part of your belief system. Music isn't just entertainment, it's a frequency that sets the tone for your environment. Movies and television shows carry the same weight. When you sit down to watch something, you are opening a door into your mind and spirit. Horror movies, violent films, and content filled with fear and chaos don't just disappear when the screen turns off. They linger in your thoughts, affecting your mood and sensitivity to what's happening around you. Some people invite spirits of fear, anger, or perversion into their homes without realizing it, simply by making these forms of entertainment a regular part of their lives. Another powerful way energy is transferred into your home is through conversations. Words create an atmosphere. Gossip, arguments, and negative discussions fill the air with tension. If you allow constant complaining, criticism, or toxic dialogue in your home, that energy becomes a part of the environment. Over time, you'll notice that peace feels harder to maintain, joy feels more distant, and the heaviness of negativity seems to settle into your daily life. Objects also hold energy, and what you keep in your home matters. Some souvenirs, antiques, and decorative pieces may carry histories you are unaware of, items associated with past relationships, painful memories, or cultures that practice spiritual rituals can bring unexplainable disturbances into a space. Many people experience strange feelings, discomfort, or even unusual events in their homes, but never connect it to something as simple as an object they brought inside. What you own has the power to either uplift your spirit or weigh it down. Even your own thoughts contribute to the atmosphere of your home. If you constantly entertain fear, doubt, or resentment, you are reinforcing an environment that invites more of the same. Your inner world reflects outwardly, and what you consistently focus on becomes the foundation of your surroundings. Many people pray for peace but continue to fill their space with things that contradict that very prayer. You have the power to shift the atmosphere of your home by being intentional with what you allow inside. What you listen to, what you watch, what you bring into your space, and even the words you speak all play a role in shaping the energy of your environment. The more aware you become, the more you can guard your space against influences that disrupt your peace. Everything you allow into your home contributes to the spiritual atmosphere within it. Every object, every piece of media, and every conversation carries energy that either strengthens your peace or disrupts it. People often think their struggles with stress, fear, and negativity are simply personal battles, but many times these emotions are reflections of the environment they have created around themselves. What you entertain doesn't just pass through, it leaves an imprint. Your home should be a place of refuge, a sanctuary where you can retreat from the noise of the world. But if you constantly invite things that carry confusion, aggression, and darkness, your home will reflect that energy. Some people struggle with restlessness in their own space and don't understand why. They feel anxious, uneasy, or even irritable without realizing that the things they have allowed inside their home are shaping their emotional and spiritual state. Think about the music you play on repeat. Music is one of the most powerful tools of influence because it bypasses logic and speaks directly to emotions. The lyrics you absorb become the words you subconsciously meditate on. If you are constantly listening to songs filled with heartbreak, anger, or self-destruction, you are filling your mind with messages that shape your outlook. The more you internalize these words, the more they become a part of your belief system. Music isn't just entertainment. It's a frequency that sets the tone for your environment. Movies and television shows carry the same weight. When you sit down to watch something, you are opening a door into your mind and spirit. Horror movies, violent films, and content filled with fear and chaos don't just disappear when the screen turns off. They linger in your thoughts, affecting your mood and sensitivity to what's happening around you. Some people invite spirits of fear, anger, or perversion into their homes without realizing it, simply by making these forms of entertainment a regular part of their lives. Another powerful way energy is transferred into your home is through conversations. Words create an atmosphere. Gossip, arguments, and negative discussions fill the air with tension. If you allow constant complaining, criticism, or toxic dialogue in your home, that energy becomes a part of the environment. Over time, you'll notice that peace feels harder to maintain. Joy feels more distant, and the heaviness of negativity seems to settle into your daily life. Objects also hold energy, and what you keep in your home matters. Some souvenirs, antiques, and decorative pieces may carry histories you are unaware of, items associated with past relationships, Painful memories or cultures that practice spiritual rituals can bring unexplainable disturbances into a space. Many people experience strange feelings, discomfort, or even unusual events in their homes, but never connect it to something as simple as an object they've brought inside. What you own has the power to either uplift your spirit or weigh it down. Even your own thoughts contribute to the atmosphere of your home. If you constantly entertain fear, doubt, or resentment, you are reinforcing an environment that invites more of the same. Your inner world reflects outwardly, and what you consistently focus on becomes the foundation of your surroundings. Many people pray for peace but continue to fill their space with things that contradict that very prayer. You have the power to shift the atmosphere of your home by being intentional with what you allow inside. What you listen to, what you watch, what you bring into your space, and even the words you speak all play a role in shaping the energy of your environment. The more aware you become, the more you can guard your space against influences that disrupt your peace. Some items carry spiritual attachments. Not everything belongs in your home. Everything in this world carries an energy, a presence, and a history. Some objects hold sentimental value, some carry cultural significance, and others come with unseen attachments that can influence the atmosphere of your home. Many people unknowingly invite darkness into their personal spaces by bringing in items that carry spiritual weight. What may seem like an innocent decoration, a simple souvenir, or a harmless antique could actually be an open doorway to negative energy. One of the most common ways this happens is through objects connected to spiritual practices. Many cultures and belief systems have rituals attached to physical items, statues, masks, charms, and symbols that were once used in ceremonies, sacrifices, or invocations. When these objects are placed in a home, they don't lose the spiritual imprint of their past. They retain the energy they were exposed to, and if that energy was connected to darkness, it can begin to influence the space where they reside. There are countless stories of people experiencing uneasiness, nightmares, or strange disturbances after bringing certain objects into their homes. Some feel an unexplained heaviness, some notice an increase in tension among family members, and others even report hearing whispers or seeing shadows. These aren't coincidences, they are signs that something spiritual is at work. The problem is that most people don't recognize the connection between these experiences and the objects they possess. Gifts can also be carriers of spiritual energy. Not every gift is given with good intentions. Sometimes people give items that have been prayed over or spiritually manipulated to bring confusion, sickness, or division into a home. Jewelry, clothing, and decorative pieces can all be used as conduits for negative energy. If someone gifts you something and you suddenly notice a change in your emotions, relationships, or overall peace, it's important to discern whether that item might be carrying something unseen. Even secondhand items come with spiritual baggage. When you buy something from a thrift store, an antique shop, or an estate sale, you are not just bringing the object into your home, you are also bringing its history. The previous owner's struggles, emotions, and experiences can linger in the things they once possessed. Some people unknowingly invite depression, anxiety, or conflict into their homes by surrounding themselves with objects that were previously owned by individuals who battled those very same issues. Certain books and artworks can also carry spiritual influence. Some literature, even if labeled as fiction, is rooted in dark themes that open the mind to deception. Some images and paintings are designed with occult symbols that invite negative energy into a space. People often dismiss these things as harmless, but everything carries a message, and everything has a source. What you allow into your home becomes a part of your environment, shaping your thoughts, emotions, and even your spiritual sensitivity. Even things tied to past relationships can carry weight. Holding on to gifts from an ex-partner, especially if that relationship was toxic or emotionally draining, can keep you connected to that past energy. Clothing, letters, jewelry, anything that reminds you of a painful experience can subtly keep you bound to emotions that no longer serve you. Some people struggle to move forward in life, not realizing that the objects they keep are keeping them emotionally and spiritually tied to their past. Discernment is key when deciding what belongs in your home. Not everything that looks beautiful carries positive energy. Not everything that was expensive is worth keeping. Not everything that was passed down through generations is a blessing. What you surround yourself with influences your daily life in more ways than you realize. Your home is more than just a physical space. It is an extension of your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. What you allow into it, whether objects, media, or habits, directly impacts the atmosphere you live in every day. Many people don't realize that the energy in their home is a reflection of their inner world. If your home is filled with chaos, disorder, and tension, it is often because those things exist in your heart and mind. The things you tolerate in your space are the things you've accepted as normal in your life. The most dangerous thing about spiritual alignment is that it can be influenced without your awareness. You might not consciously choose negativity, but if you constantly allow certain things into your home, they will shape your reality. Imagine a house that is never cleaned, never organized, and never maintained. It will naturally become chaotic. The same happens spiritually. If you let negativity, darkness, and unhealthy influences linger in your space, your home will start reflecting those things back to you. Music, movies, and books are powerful tools that shape the energy of a home. Some people listen to music filled with pain, aggression, and toxicity, then wonder why they struggle with peace. Others consume movies and books that glorify violence, manipulation, and fear, then wonder why their mind is always restless. The content you surround yourself with is more than entertainment. It is programming your thoughts, emotions, and spiritual sensitivity. Even the people who enter your home influence its energy. Every visitor brings their own spirit, their own mindset, and their own atmosphere. If you constantly entertain people who gossip, complain, or carry negativity, they will deposit that energy into your space. Some people invite others into their home, and after they leave, they notice tension, arguments, or even a sense of heaviness that wasn't there before. This isn't a coincidence. People carry spiritual weight, and when they step into your space, they either contribute to peace or disturb it. The objects you keep in your home also play a role in shaping its spiritual atmosphere. Some people hold on to things that remind them of past pain, letters from an ex, gifts from a broken relationship, or even objects tied to traumatic memories. These items may seem harmless, but they serve as anchors to emotions that no longer serve you. If something constantly reminds you of a time when you were hurt, betrayed, or lost, then it is subtly reinforcing those emotions in your present life. Disorder and clutter can also disrupt the spiritual alignment of your home. A cluttered space often reflects a cluttered mind. Some people struggle to focus, feel overwhelmed, or experience unnecessary stress simply because their environment is in disarray. It's not just about physical mess, it's about what that mess represents. A home that is filled with unnecessary things, broken objects, and chaotic energy will make it difficult to experience clarity and peace. Even your daily habits affect the energy of your home. If you start your day with stress, rushing, and frustration, that energy lingers throughout the house. If your routine includes watching negative news, engaging in social media drama, or filling your mind with things that disturb your spirit, then your home becomes a reflection of that unrest. Your environment is not separate from your choices. It is a direct result of them. Your home is meant to be a place of refuge, a sanctuary where peace reigns and where you can recharge from the chaos of the world. But peace doesn't just happen. It has to be cultivated, protected, and fought for. The spiritual atmosphere of your home is shaped by what you allow inside, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Every single thing you welcome into your home has the potential to either strengthen or weaken its spiritual foundation. That's why discernment is not optional. It's necessary. It's necessary. Too often, people focus only on physical security. They install locks, cameras, and alarms to keep out thieves, but they leave the door wide open for spiritual intrusions. They don't realize that the enemy doesn't need to break a window or pick a lock to enter. He just needs an invitation. And that invitation often comes in the form of the things we willingly accept, the habits we allow to flourish, and the lack of spiritual awareness in our daily lives. One of the biggest ways people leave their home spiritually unprotected is by ignoring the power of intention. When an object is created for a spiritual purpose, whether good or bad, it carries that purpose with it. Many people unknowingly bring items into their homes that were prayed over, cursed, or used in rituals, and they don't understand why they feel uneasy or restless. Spiritual forces do not need your permission to operate if you have already given them access through what you possess. Another way people expose their home to spiritual disturbances is by tolerating what they should be rejecting. You cannot expect to have a peaceful home if you continue to entertain things that disrupt that peace. Whether it's toxic relationships, destructive habits, or objects that hold negative energy, everything you permit in your home shapes its spiritual environment. Some people feel spiritually drained and don't know why, but if they looked closely, they'd realize their exhaustion is tied to the things they've allowed to remain unchecked. Negative spiritual influences don't always appear obvious at first. Sometimes they creep in slowly through the things we dismiss as harmless. A TV show that promotes fear and darkness, a book filled with ideas that distort truth, or even music that glorifies destruction. All of these things can subtly erode the spiritual strength of a home. What starts as entertainment can quickly become an open door. The enemy doesn't always rush in with obvious attacks. Sometimes he just waits for you to lower your guard. Even the words spoken in a home contribute to its spiritual atmosphere. Conversations filled with gossip, arguments, and negativity create an environment where peace cannot thrive. Words have power, and the more a home is filled with destructive speech, the more it becomes a breeding ground for anxiety, division, and confusion. Many people pray for peace in their home, but their words are actively working against that prayer. You cannot speak doubt, fear, and frustration daily and expect your home to remain a place of rest. Spiritual protection is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice. Just like a house requires regular cleaning to remain fresh, your home requires consistent spiritual upkeep to remain strong. Everything that enters your space should be examined with discernment. If it doesn't align with peace, if it doesn't serve your growth, if it carries an energy that disturbs rather than strengthens, it does not belong in your home. Your home is more than just a structure. It is a reflection of what you allow, what you value, and what you tolerate. If you want peace, you must create an environment where peace can thrive. If you desire clarity, you must remove the things that bring confusion. Every object, habit, and influence in your space carries a spiritual weight, and whether you realize it or not, it is shaping your daily life. You cannot expect light to flourish in an atmosphere filled with darkness. You cannot invite peace into a space that is constantly disturbed by toxic energy. Your home must be guarded, not just from physical threats, but from spiritual intrusions that steal your joy, your focus, and your sense of security. Now is the time to take inventory of what you have allowed to take root in your home. What needs to be removed? What needs to be replaced? What needs to be realigned? If something is disturbing your peace, it does not belong. If something is feeding negativity, it needs to go. Your home should be a place of strength, restoration, and protection. And that begins with the choices you make today.